It's funny how long it can take to arrest a person. You'd think it would be like on TV. Badges flashing, guns, handcuffs clinked around my dad's wrists. Instead, we drive back through the American side, show our passports with the expired visas, and pull around to a low building. We stand on line for hours under fluorescent lights that make my eyes itch. And then, after they look at the papers, they tell Abba to wait. We wait and doze on metal folding chairs, and then they explain everything we already know. Abba will be taken into detention, and deportation proceedings might begin. The rest of us can go. And if we come up with the $5,000, Abba will be released and he can apply for asylum on the Canadian side. It could be weeks, though, before they even open our files. Ma digs into her pocketbook and finds numbers of a couple of churches that have shelters that will put us up in Burlington. Taslima, my cousin, found those for her before we left. Abba, who has taken this all in very quietly, turns to us. He looks first at me and folds down the collar of my jacket. Then he touches Aisha's hair once. Aisha, Nadira, you are going back. Back? Aisha asks. He shakes his head. This is not some kind of quick thing. It could take weeks, and I don't want you children missing school, stranded up here in this cold place. Aisha is about to graduate. She has to finish her year and prepare for college. You want all that to go out the window? How will we get there? Abba lets a slow, crooked smile cross his face. You'll drive. So Abba knew about her secret driving lessons all along. But what about me? Ma asks. You will stay here at the shelter. He hands her the small silver oval of a cell phone, closes his palm over hers. You keep this to be in touch with everyone. When the paperwork is done, we'll send for the children. I feel as if Abba has sliced the air in two, leaving a ragged gap between them and us. Go back without them? And live where? And how? Abba lifts the Chinese silk bag out of his coat pocket and hands it to Aisha. You go stay with Auntie. This is the money for your upkeep. You go to school. You don't say a word to anyone. You do your homework and you help out in the house. Understand? I do understand. That's the way it has always been. Go to school. Never let anyone know. Never. Aisha is nodding, tears streaming down her face. Abba has cupped a hand around her chin and is speaking softly to her. You understand I'm doing this for you, nah? Still crying, Aisha bobs her head up and down, and I feel that same sharp cut inside. Why is it always Aisha's future? Sir? It's the officer who did all the processing and very quietly explained that Abba would have to go into the detention area until we posted bond. She's holding a thick folder under her arm, and she looks very tired. Abba stands up, smooths his palms over his knees. All right then, he says in a husky voice. Time to go. Now everything happens so fast. I keep thinking that this is a videotape, and any minute now the screen will go blank, and we can rewind and wake up in our apartment and start the day again. We divvy up the clothes in the suitcases. I need a coat, Ma suddenly announces. If I'm going to stay in this godforsaken place, I need a better coat. Ma, where are we going to find you a coat now? Aisha asks. We don't even know where the mall is. No mall, she replies. Salvation Army. Sometimes Ma surprises me. I didn't even know that she knew what the Salvation Army was. But as we were driving into town, Ma's sharp eyes spotted the red and white sign of the thrift store. She is already counting her dollars, stretching what she has. Soon enough, we're combing through racks of coats that smell of dust and stale perfume, the pockets stuffed with crumpled tissues and old tickets. I try not to think about Abba in the big concrete room with wooden benches, or about the long, lonely drive ahead. Aisha is holding up coat after coat, a navy blue one with fake white fur trim, a brown tweed with big, deep pockets. Ma doesn't like any of them. I have to look a certain way, she keeps muttering. I'm there for your father. I show up in court, I have to look a certain way. What way? We keep asking her, but she just shakes her head, her long braids swinging at her back. And then she finds it. A purple coat with large, glossy black buttons and a huge flap of a collar. When Ma puts it on, the coat flares out about her hips like a tent. She swirls around in front of the dirty mirror, laughing. That's it! I saw a TV show the other day about Jacqueline Kennedy. You remember? Bad things happened to her, but she always looked so nice and trim in public. I always thought if I had to be a white lady, I would want to look like her. You and everyone else, Aisha laughs. But it is good seeing Ma happy for a moment. We find her a pair of galoshes made of milky plastic that she can pull up over her shoes. And the best thing is, the whole deal costs us $18.50. Outside the shelter, Ma walks us to the car. She's already put on the coat, and I swear it makes her look different, ready to be brave and crisp in front of those immigration authorities. Before we get in, she pulls each of us near, presses her cold palms to our cheeks. You be good, she says. Aisha has started up the car. As I get into the passenger seat, I see Ma in that purple coat, pressing the black buttons to her chin, those silly galoshes flapping open over her ankles. Button them up, I want to tell her, but Aisha has swerved the car away. The sky over Burlington looks like it's made of clear blue glass. I think of Abba behind the crosswire fence, the way his face broke into wrinkles when he'd heard the news of his detainment. Abba loves this country in his own way. It's like this bowl he carries in his heart, so full, so ready to trust. And right now, as we head to the highway, all I can hear is the sound of his heart shattering.